All right. Discord. Let's see. Okay, I did put it in there. All right. So let's go ahead and look over a couple of things this morning and see first where the market wants. Oh, it looks like the market gapped up. Oh boy. All right, so the market, the SPY looks like it's up to 483. there. Let's see what else we got. NQ. So it looks like it went ahead and broke out. NQ. NQ is still down here though. Interesting. SPY breaking out in the NQ, not following just yet. But that is a strong move off of that 477 there. Getting on up. Okay. Let's look at the bigger time frame on the 15-minute. This is what we're looking at. Right now, it is trading around the 483s. So it is well above, or not well above, but it's definitely broken out of this double top, which I thought was going to be a little bit more bearish, but I guess it just wanted to blow through it. And now it's trading around the 83s on the SPY. As for things that were moving last week, we know that SMCI was a huge mover from last week on Friday. I think Mike D had called it out. It moved from 345 all the way to 450s. It had the semiconductor or microchip news on it, which was insane. And it's still kind of doing some things, but that was a crazy move on Friday. Other one that I saw on Friday was EWTX. I thought it was going to do a little bit more, but it kind of just became like a sideways chop fest. It kind of lost attention to SMCI. Anyway, those two, let me go ahead and get rid of those two. What I'm interested in is something with a little bit of range, and kind of looking around this morning to see if anything is above $1, and if nothing is above nothing is above $1 ATR, then I guess we'll just see the ones that that are provided for today. But I don't see anything that's moving with the range. I like to see Baba is up here. Baba had a nice gap down. Oh boy. So of course, Reliable Rudy loves Baba. He loves Baba. So he's probably going to be trying to get some around these 60s. And see, and they pay an annual dividend. I wonder how much their dividend is. Go to annual dividends. They've only paid one dividend out in 2023 in November. So the next one will be this upcoming November. And they pay $1 per share. Not that much, but they did have quite a bit of a gap down here from 69 down to 67. That's really not a huge move, but they have been gapping around, so it's kind of hard to know where to get in with all these gaps. You may end up getting a gap up or a gap down. Let's see the scans again. Baba was at the bottom of the list. Let's go up here to QQQ. QQQ. See what you got here. Another one that's kind of filling the gap in here. Good morning, Lori Lee. Mara Crypto has been coming on down, forming a little Coming back to the bottoms here around the maybe the $10 on Mara after another run up. Every time crypto gets a little hype, it does a little run up. Nvidia up to 600 bucks. Nvidia. So both Nvidia and that semiconductor that we were talking about earlier, or whatever, semi micro or whatever, these are computer stocks, and these are the ones that took the attention on Friday, moving this big, moving from what did Nvidia started? Started at 577, so it's a little bit smaller move than the other one, but it was on the same theme, the same sentiment of the other stock. So big moves from 577 up here to 600 for this morning. What's the next one? Boyle with the gap down. China weighs Asia index lower. Oh, also, I've been seeing a couple of reports of, these Chinese stocks that have been dumping on people. I mean, it's insane how much they've been dumping. It's insane how much it's insane how much they've been dumping after they make these big moves. I mean, it's almost like the grand scheme of pump and dump to get US investors in for that snatch down. So I'll be very, very careful, seeing that thing just continues since the beginning, even the end of last year. That theme has continued, just these big pump and dumps. So I've been very, very careful to stay out of those and stay out of the way of those, because those things are just taking lives, man. Tesla continuing to come on down. Does it have any news on today? Tesla investor sees Apple selling more Vision Pros. Okay. Tesla bull cuts price. Let's jump over here to the big one. Tesla's in this range here. I've been actually watching Tesla to add to my other position. I want to see it come into this range below the 203s and the 175s to try to add to my position, but I'm going to just wait and kind of let it play around. It hasn't really entered the zone yet, but we've saw back here in the past previous buyback up out of this position. So I'm just giving it some time. It may not happen this month or next month, but I'll just wait. Just wait for it to come on down. What's the other one? Save. Continue to look crazy down there at the bottom. At Spirit Airlines. The million shares traded on today. And these stocks all have a dollar ATR or higher. So that's pretty much where I'm focusing, especially for the pre-market. I just, focusing on those small ones in pre-market. It's like, I want to see, is there bigger range? And then, once everything opens up and, hey, I didn't see anything in pre-market that I like, then we'll see what the smaller ones are doing, But we got about 15 minutes to the bell. AMD is also up here. Of course, it's got about the same move as NVIDIA and that other SCMI move. Moving from $65 up to 174, all on the same theme. And then the top two here are TQQ and SOXL, and these are all based on volume. So half of these haven't even reached or are just now reaching a million shares traded now. Donnell says morning DWAC on watch, related stock P fund on watch. We'll see about that when they come through. DWAC, not seeing it yet on the scans. It may pop through. I don't know how much it's up, but we'll see on the open if it's really going to get active. I believe DWAC had an ATR higher than a dollar, but I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what we got here. SOLX, TQQ, AMD. So we pretty much looked at everything that has that range that we kind of are interested in. Let me go ahead and pull up my chart So looking for this template to be fulfilled. Now this template can be used for things with under an ATR, under $1 ATR. It'll just be a lower score. But you know, let's see what we got. Okay, so here's the template. Looking for something to be fitting some of this template. So variables I'm looking for. Hey, how long has this thing been trading? ATR, it may or may not have an ATR of $. What's the relative volume? What's the relative standard deviation? Obvious catalyst, perceived resistance. And the only reason I made this perceived resistance because resistance is different for everybody. And my perceived resistance may not be somebody else's. So, you know, if it's unclear to me, it's going to get that typical score. If it's unclear to somebody else, it may be totally different. Or if it's a daily resistance, like let's say if it doesn't have historical, it's nothing that we can look back at. It's just on the day, and it'll get a 1, and then historical resistance will get that 2. Same thing with the support. If it's unclear, it's unclear. It'll just get a 0. Daily or historical, and then the same. The thing that saved me on Friday, you know, is my ticker moving on the theme of the day? Now we saw the things that were moving on the theme of the day. SMCI, Nvidia, AMD, all of those were computer and chip related. And the stocks that we saw in the small caps, the other stocks other than SMCI were just not computer related. They were biotechs and all this stuff, but the big moves were on the chip. Is my ticker a pre-market mover? I haven't seen anything pre-market as yet. Does it have predictable time in the day to act in my favor? So I want to be buying at the end of the day, you know. Then the time of the day is going to give a score. Right now is 0, but after my kind of the time that I like to start trading gets a little bit higher score. Change on the day, percent change on the day. Looking for those things that, you know, are at least up 10 to 15%, just so we can look at them. And then if they're up way more than that, you know, we can look a little bit harder, see why they're gapping so much. But as of now, what I'm seeing in the market is those top movers still being top movers. AMD, Nvidia. Actually, I throw those on the watch. AMD, Nvidia, because I want to see these kind of go down or give up or something before we get so concentrated on something else. Let me see. What was the other one? AMD, video. Channel weighs in. Okay, and then now that we've kind of looked around with the higher ATRs, let's look at DWAC that Donnell called out. DWAC and PFUN. DWAC has a little bit of a gap up a little bit. So it closed down here at 26, opened at the 29s. Wow. So this is one of those, Donnell, we talked about the other week when I was talking about, hey man, I wonder if it's gonna come back and test these highs at the 28. And it took it what 1-2 days from when I entered to come back and test these highs. So, you know, came back to the 29.70. I don't know if it has any news on today, though. Doesn't look like it has any news. The only thing that I was thinking about it was the president election isn't until November 5th. So it's got a lot of time to, you know, kind of chop around and consolidate before that election. So I'm still watching it. It's just, I think it's going to be later on in the year when it really goes crazy. Let's see. DWAC and PFUN. PFUN. Now, PFUN was one of the Chinese stocks that I was kind of talking about dumping. So let's look on the bigger time frame. So one, we can look back here in its trading history, and we can see these huge pump and dumps, right? Huge pump and dumps. And looking on the weekly and all of this stuff, we just see the sellers just coming in shorting this thing heavy. Uh, right here on what was the date of this? This was the 16th. Huge pump and dump. Pump from 13 cents all the way up here to 49 cents and a dump. Pump, pump, pump back up to almost 20, around the 25-ish level and a dump right before open. So after that first initial dump, it's just been getting hammered. I don't know if it's the scammers, I don't know who it is, but yeah, it's just not performing like it did on previous times. But I think it's because it's the amount of time that we have from the election. I think it is going to turn back up later on this year when the catalyst is a little bit more, what's the word, relevant. When the catalyst is a little bit more relevant. Donnell says primary election tomorrow. Trump stock may move today. We'll see. I think we're going to see a dump, but let's see. We shall see. Let me put this up here and see what kind of percent gain it has on it. DWAC. DWAC is up 10%. Yeah. P-Fund is up. Yeah, that 10%, I don't know. It's going to need a lot more than that to get everybody excited again. Maybe an aftermarket. I don't know. I think it's going to dump. Okay. But we'll see. It is Monday morning, so maybe people are willing to hold, but yeah, I mean, with this kind of gap up from 26, I would definitely wait and see how many people want to be sellers before buying. We'll do. I don't know. I don't know what those are, but okay. Let's look in here. I'll see. All right. Yeah, so we'll see, man. I think this morning is gonna be interesting. Um, it's just such a competition. I really want to see how AMD, Nvidia, and SMCI are gonna react, and will DWAC be able to overpower those moves from Friday? Because I know there's some thirsty buyers that missed those big moves that want to play around with those microchips. I think that's where the majority of the excitement is, but we'll see. We shall see. Got about 5 minutes until the bell, and then my other scanner will start to populate the top gainers under $1 ATR. They'll come in here. So, DWAC still won't be able to make it on there with only 10%, but maybe some other ones will come in. Um, Market at all-time highs. So much for bringing in the bread line, huh? Yeah, right. That's what I was saying. I was talking to Ben the other day about these pump and dumps that have been happening, and I was thinking, I'm like thinking to myself, what countries will want us to fail if we're so easy to pump and dump? Like like on the stock, was it P Fun or one of these dumpers? I know it's Roma, Roma. One of those things moved like almost 89 or $890 million on a pump and dump. Who wants us to fall? I'm like, we're held up by our own stupidity. Like, why would they want us to fall when they could just pump up our chat rooms from their country and then sell on us? But who wants who? I mean, we're here. Of course, we're gonna see the dollar strengthening. Of course, we're gonna see these things happening. It's like, look at the last week from November November to now, pumping ups have been going crazy. Chinese pumping ups specifically. So I'm like, well, it's a big money grab, and I don't think anybody wants us to go anywhere just yet. They may not like us, but they like, making that money off of us. The cattle. Right. But yeah, AMD pushing back up. DWAC, Nvidia still looking crazy. Hey, One Life, did you trade any of these microchip stocks or whatnot? AMD or Nvidia or SMCI? All of them kind of did a breakout yesterday on some microcomputer news and just kind of went. SMCI broke out of right at 350 all the way up to now the 458s. But I've also been keeping an eye on what's that stock you trade? Not Roku. A Firm. I saw a commercial for I think it was A Firm. I saw a commercial for. I was like, this is a commercial for A Firm? I don't even watch TV like that, so I know it had to be crazy because like it was like the one time I know it must have gotten played multiple times because it's like the one time I saw it on TV and I was like, why would that be on this one time that I look at TV, right? And it wasn't even on purpose. Like I was just walking through. It's like what? But it was one of the. I think it was A Firm. I'm not mistaken. Something dealing with TVs and some kind of movies and stuff like that. I forget. Or it might have been the other one y'all trade. But I think it was A Firm. Anyway, SMCI is what we're looking at here and waiting for this market to open in 1 minute or less than 1 minute. And I also did some adjusting on my volume and my audio. So if I'm clear, if I'm not clear, definitely let me know and I can adjust it. But I did some testing and it was sounding okay. So I was like, okay, I think I'm pretty clear now. So I'm rocking with this and seeing how it goes. All right, so we're about to come into the open. I'm gonna be watching. I really want to see. I watch DWAC out of the open just to see what it wants to do, how many people actually want to sell it, and then we'll go and switch over to something else. We'll watch DWAC out of the open. DWAC just popped open. We got the monthly chart out here. We got the weekly chart opening up here at the highs, pushing up. Daily chart out here, 4 hour coming into the highs here is right under the 30. So just watching. The only other one that I just saw populate over here is RVSN with only 36 cents in the ATR, 7 million shares traded, and it's a $2 stock. So that is what I call a waste of time to watch for right now. I'm gonna watch everything else. If everything else fades, then I'll go over there and watch that. But for right now, watching DWAC, watching AMD, watching Nvidia and SMCI to see when they want to give up the ghost here on Monday morning. DWAC tapping that 30. Big moves up there to the 30. Will it break over? Breaking 30. Big break over 30. Man, if this forms a wick, that's gonna be a huge wick. Jumped up there to 31.31 just that quick. And then to be back under 30s, that's a big move down. So let's see if we can get that splash. What is that splash gonna look like? For DWAC to go red on the day, it needs to go back under 29.33. 29.33 here. And now we see the wick, but this thing has quite a bit of time left in it. It's only up 16%. Only up 16%. I also see another one popping up, which is GMT. I don't know what it's got going on. GMT or no, SGMT. Tripping. SGMT. What is this news? Signamet Biosciences announces positive top line results. Now this one does have an ATR of $1.53. And if you look over here, this is where I'm looking on my scans. DWAC is showing up here, $1.86 in ATR. SGMT $1.53. Relative volume is 56 times the normal. And then relative standard deviation out here at a 7.6. But we know the overall theme is those microchips and the computers, the AI. So wondering how strong this is going to be during the day. It is pulling back as of right now, but let's look at the overall picture. It's only been trading, not even a year of trading on this one, popping back up here to a recent recent highs of the 15s. If we look on the weekly chart, we can see a huge gap up, but where will this thing settle? Will it pull back to this level right here at the 12s? Or, I mean, the only other consolidation is all the way back here at the 4s, and then a top right here at the 8s. So, whole lot of, not a lot of historical data there for it to hold up. SGMT, but it did pop on the scans up 100%. But that's one that will probably chop people around due to a lack of historical, data. Let's jump back over to AMD, giving some pumps down. And like I said, I knew some people were going to want to sell. Nobody's going to, I mean, after a big move like that, DWAC up to 32.70 now. Huge push on up on DWAC. Wow, wow, wow. So this is the first 15-minute candle, man. If this thing comes back to the 30, that's going to be a huge wick over the top. Huge. RVSN going on down. Like I said, it's probably a waste of time, especially with all this competition on the board. RVSN just not giving the kind of range. This was a $2 move on excitement, and it's probably going to turn into fear here in a little bit. Here comes the fear. Looking at this daily chart, 15-minute chart, we can see wick all the way up here to 32. So the close of this candle, we can see those coming down. Now, let me think. There's two names for this one that's forming. If it can come on down, it's not a hammer. What is it called? This candle. This would be called would it be a pin? I forget. It's like a topping tail pin or something like that. I forget. But it's looking like it's getting some selling pressure around here. Round here. Yep, coming on back down under the 30s. Will it crash the 30s as well? All right, so yeah, DWAC just not even being able to hold that up. SGMT coming back down though. Like I said, it has very not a lot of historical data on it, but based on the daily chart, we can see a little bit of buying that came around this level right here. This 1250 down to the 1150. There's a little bit of buying pressure there. And then also down here, well, this is pretty much selling pressure. I don't really see any more. If it gets through this, it's just going to kind of be weak under the 1150s. So from 12.50 to 11.50, it's kind of like a dollar-ish move. Look over here on the um, monthly chart. You can see it a little bit better on this previous month back here of August of last year. There's a little bit of buying pressure right here from the 1050s up to the $12 in here. So couple little spots, but probably more of day trades than any kind of swing trades. But we'll see as the day goes on. Back over to DWAC, continue to hold over that 31. And RVSN just continue to push down a little bit. Not really heavy in the competition. Nvidia, big, almost indecisive bar here, but it looks like it's continuing to push to the downside. Well, nope, coming into more indecision around the 600 on Nvidia. The only thing that I didn't like about P-Fund, look at this ATR of 0.05. Very low ATR right there. Good to get chopped around in that thing. Go ahead and get rid of that. AMD continued to go down, so looking for the other ones that are moving on that microcomputer news to follow suit. Let's also look at the SPY. Don't want to forget about the SPY. Did a throw up there to what, 484.90, and looking like it's going to give a little bit more of a push. It's looking kind of bullish on today. DWAC just now getting a 20% on the board. Will it be able to hold up? The close of this 15-minute candle will be in 5 minutes, so still got a lot of time on this candle. And no news on the day either, just kind of continuation. So we'll see how strongly people believe in it with no news. SMCI also doing the same kind of pullback on the morning. Something's going to prove that it's strong, but it just hasn't happened yet because there was so much strength coming off of Friday. Oh boy, is this one halted? SGMT is halted, I believe. Yeah, it looks like it's halted. It came down to the 1350s. Didn't even reach a previous buy level, just kind of going up. If we look on the monthly chart, if it opens, what, this is the high, and then above this is just kind of clear sky. So 1833 is the top here. And the top with the wick, it's not even a body candle up there yet. But the breakout will be over the 1613s right here. This first month that it was trading over that 1650-ish, 1613 to 1650 is going into almost clear skies, heading into a new level of supply. All right. AMD breaking on down those 170s. ATR of $6.23 on AMD. So it broke down from the 75s. It's almost to $6 and something, almost to that ATR. 74. Yeah, it was wait, what's the top of this? 77. So it moved from 77, chopped around all the way down. So that's a $6 move. So it's definitely moved this ATR. Then DWAC continues to play around as well. We got 4 minutes until this first 15-minute closes. We should see some quite interesting things happen after this first 15-minute closes, especially on some of these so-called dumpers like AMD, because I think AMD is still very, very bullish overall. Looking at this, looking at the how it's been holding up all of these levels where it has dipped. DWAC kind of slowing down. Starting to see those going from like dollar moves, so maybe like 25 cents, 30 cents moves. SMCI took lives and souls with it. Pumping back down on this one. On the 4 hour, big pump down, big pump down, big pump down. So all of this was the semiconductor. So I'm expecting, now this was the hottest semi, or the not well, I guess it's microchip, microcomputer, whatever it is. This was this was the name that was the main mover, and then everything else was going on sentiment. So whatever happens with this one may be able to spell out what's going to happen with AMD and those other ones. So we're seeing quite a bit of a pullback towards the 450s on this one. Huge top and tail, looking like it's going to end as a red candle there on the 15-minute. And Nvidia still doing its thing. It has filled this little pre-market gap. We'll see if it continues to pump down through the 590s. And then DWAC as well coming on down. SGMT has not unhalted yet, I don't think. Let me go and look at the halt scans or whatnot. Halts, trade halts. SMG halted at 939. So should be opening up here. Wait, is that a 10-minute halt? 39, 44, 45. Should be opening up on the 45, 42. 45, 42. So in a minute and something. All right, SMCI giving up the ghost. Looking like it wants to break down that 450 with this huge top and tail. RVSN dumping, and that's why I say these things under with those lower ATRs just aren't worth it for me. I just kind of leave them, let them do their thing towards the downside, especially on a day with all of this competition up here. So let's see if we can notice any kind of new patterns coming out. AMD stopping right above this 169-ish level. So 168 was the low. We'll see how it goes through that. DWAC trying to hold kind of like a mid ground here around the 31.58. So the low of this opening candle was 29.21. Nvidia low was the 595s, a little bit of buying pressure, and also the full gap fill is down here at the 594, but it's getting a little bit of a jump off of these lower levels on Nvidia. And SMCI next candle just kind of dumping out here. Okay. SMCI only up 6% now on the day, so I'm thinking that's a little bit too small for people to kind of focus on it. DWAC, so the only three things that are right now on the watch list is AMD, DWAC, and Nvidia, and also watching for SGMT to come out of that halt. I don't know if it might be a 10-minute halt. Just not seeing what's going on with SGMT. It should have already unhalted. It might be a 10-minute halt though. All right. Anyway, since we've narrowed down to what, 4 stocks, AMD, DWAC, and Nvidia, I'm gonna go and look into these small caps. Look into SGMT real quick. Sigimet. Okay, where is, they've changed some things on this. Looks like they changed their setup. Now the profile and everything is over here on the side. All right, Sigamet Biosciences Inc., a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company, develops therapeutics called fatty acid synthase, or FASN inhibitors, for the treatment of diseases that result from dysfunctional lipid metabolism pathways. Its lead drug candidate is denifanstat. Denifanstat, I don't even know. It's an inhibitor. Company is also developing another inhibitor for the treatment of various types of cancers. Okay, so it's got the cancer in there. But okay, let's look at this float. Boy, they messed me up with moving that stuff. Okay. Float, float, float. Float is 10.49 million, held largely held by institutions. It's got a little bit of insider hold in there. Let's look at SGMT. No kind of shelf registrations. They announced the top line results on the 22nd, so that was today that 8K news came out. SGMT. So overall theme of the market, this one is definitely not moving with it. It's the only one that's moving on cancer and all of that right now. So I don't know how effective that's going to be, but let me look again at when it's supposed to be opening up. Trade halts. So it should be on the 42 of this minute. Let's see, 49.42 should be opening up. That'll be a 10-minute halt for it. Giving it some time. Let's see. AI coming back up the scanners as well. Look at what AI is doing. Moving straight up. Let's look on, well, it doesn't look so good on the monthly, but it did come down here and touch the 23.50-ish level, the little zone between, almost a $10 zone right there, and it's pulling back up off those levels of those lows after getting that nice beat down. Okay, let's jump back over to this one. Oh my goodness, SGMT opened up at 18. So this one's going to be a nasty one on the day. Opening up 18.47, ATR of $1.70. So it did break over. We go over here and look on the monthly chart. It is creasing, just creasing the open skies area here, making a new high above these previous highs on the 1847. Now it has cancer in it and it has all these other things, but we'll see. It's up it's up 170%. Very new company, only a year of trading. Seems like that is one of the reasons that it's moving, but not seeing a whole lot of partnerships or anything like that they're coming out with. So just seems like oh, I didn't even check where this company's from. Is this another Chinese company? Sagist. Let's see. Profile. Where is this company from? Okay, it's out of California. Out of California. So it was incorporated in 2006 and it's headquartered in San Mateo, California. Let's see. It changed its name from Sagmet Biosciences Inc. August 2019. Okay. So that is a big gap up here, gapping You know, it looked like it was gonna gap or go down with a little pullback and ends up opening $3 higher. Now, right now on the relative volume side, it has 71 relative volume, so very high relative volume. But I mean, that's in comparison to the last 14 days. So looking at with it doesn't have any historical data, so it's like, what does that really mean? Is this thing going to be able to carry through? I mean, it's abnormal based on the data that is currently out. So I don't know how that data is going to shift. DWAC, 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 DWAC. Looks like somebody wanted to sell. Coming back into these levels down here. Now, like I was saying, for it to go red on the day, it would be 29.21 red on the day. And it looks like somebody's doing a little sell-off here. And, you know, the other thing is it doesn't really have any abnormal relative volume or anything like that. DWAC only has 2 million shares that moved it from the 29 up to the 33. So 2 million shares on the whole day is not a lot, especially for DWAC. We've seen DWAC when it really gets hot. I mean, it gets 10 million, 20 million, 50 million shares when it gets hot. It's not hot. So AMD continued to muster its way down as well. From the 160, came up and did a little bit of a pop and looking like it's trying to go back towards this low that it created, that 168.76. Nvidia popped all the way back up. Nvidia almost trying to do kind of return to 600. Only up 1%, but man, that 1% is huge. From the 96 all the way up to the 600. So Nvidia proving some strength here, coming into the first 30 minutes of trading. A-Firm is also up here. I just seen that. Looks like it's not abnormal though. It's just doing this little thing, up 11% on A-Firm. Coin, save. Let's look at A-Firm. A-Firm moving straight up. If we look on the longer time frame, A-Firm looks like it's only been trading from, looks like 2021, went up here, came down, kind of bottomed out and making another move. Did it have news on the day? It does not have any news on the day that I see. Could have something circulating in the chat room or something, but it did move from 43 up to 47, up 11%. Now the top movers with ATR of $1 or higher. The top four is SGM. Oh my god, let me jump back over to SGMT. Look at this thing going to $20. Look at this thing going to $20 every time it opens up. Open up at 18, open up at 20. This one is one of those ones that probably, I mean, I don't know, man. If shorts are shorting this without any kind of historical data, it's probably painful. Doing that breakout into clear skies over the 18, getting up here and touching the 2071. And we're going to see, is there a new level of supply up here? Are those shorts going to form a level that's going to become a historical level up here? Will they make history? Or will they get pushed to the moon? It's up 187%. ATR is now $1.86 with 11 million shares on it. Looks like shorts want to make history here at the 20. Big topping tail getting formed there. We'll see if it ends up holding down this 20. Wow. Lot of selling right there. Boy, boy, boy. Back under that 18. Somebody's invested in this thing going down. So we'll see how that plays out. And then AMD chilling. Nvidia, another topping wick after retesting the highs up here of 600. Coming back down. SGMT. Does it want to flush everybody out? Does it want to fill this gap back towards the 16? That would be a huge loss. If you did buy the top like around 20 or something like that, that'd be a huge loss on this one. $2 drop. And you're like, man, I hope it's going to come back up. I hope it's going to come back up, man. Let's also jump back over to DWAC. DWAC just has slowed down so much. Only 17% there. And continue to trade around this 31.25-ish level. Okay. Nvidia, big push back down. Okay. RSVN coming back up just a little bit, still holding 56%, $2.15. The news on this one, it secured approval and certifications for a EU railway standards. Okay, so that's definitely not going with the theme of the day. Anyway, I got about 2 minutes. I'm about to get on out of here and get to my meeting. We saw some interesting moves, waiting for AMD and some of these other tech stocks to kind of show their true colors during the day. SGMT is just a crazy mover. Going up there and halting up and making a move from $7 all the way to 20. That is an insane push. Okay. Well, anyway, that is it for me today. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. If I see anything that I like, I'll let you guys know in the Discord. Discord link is in the description. But yeah, I got to get on out of here, get on and make some money doing something else because I don't see any lows that I can buy safely, especially with some of these with no historical data. Some of them may continue to pump. I don't care. Whatever they want to do, let them do it. And I'll be continuing to watch, but I kind of like to trade things that have some kind of pre-market action and give me that intraday resolution. Most of these, they did have pre-market action, so anything else popping up will probably be a lot weaker than these. So definitely keep your head on the swivel if you're going to continue to trade. But yeah, as always, I will be back on Wednesday and Friday and kind of give you guys updates on what I see during the week, if I take any trades or anything like that. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.